I'm trying to pray, but where are you? I'm all churched out, hurt and abused. I can't fake what's left to do. Come on. Truth is, I'm weak.
I feel like that was just the appropriate thing to start off with today. Welcome to Guaranteed News on a Sunday. This is going to be a strictly sports episode. I'm not going to do a big intro. I'm just going to get right to it. What are we going to talk about in this episode? We're going to talk about the Steelers game. Of course, that's what we're starting with. We're going to talk about the Chargers game. We're going to talk about this week's games. We're going to talk about the Indy Ignite 1-0. That's good news. And we're going to talk about the Australian Open that is starting today. But of course, well, maybe you don't know. If you don't know, I'm a Steelers fan. Been a Steelers fan my entire life. So that's what I'm going to start off with. In today's episode, they lost to the Ravens 14-28. And even that score is pretty nice. Before I get to the stats, before I get to anything with Mike Tomlin, before I get to anything with how we played or the team, I'm just going to go through my experience of yesterday watching that Steelers game. It was probably one of the worst experiences that I've ever had watching a Steelers playoff game in my entire life. And the main reason for that is because the experience I got being treated by everyone the entire day, like it was insane. It was insane. Let me do something. Let me just get this up so I can look at this. All right. Yeah, might have been one of the worst experience. So from the days leading up to it, everyone was giving me that energy, like, oh, like you really think that the Steelers are going to win? You really think the Steelers can beat Lamar? I mean, one of my old coworkers from work texted me when he was like, "You guys had a good season," with a laughy face. I was like, deadass. I was like, "What are you talking about? I think we can win." I mean, my friends who were talking shit were normally talking shit, so I wasn't really looking at that. But then even my brother, when I went to his house yesterday, a couple hours before the game, I walked in with my Steelers jersey. His friend was in there. He was like, "Oh, you're a Steelers fan?" I was like, "Yeah. This ain't no game." And my brother's like, "Yeah, he really thinks the Steelers are gonna win." And he was like, "Damn." His friend looked at me like, "Damn." It was a real surprise. It was just a thing where nobody thought the Steelers were gonna win. And I'll say, I thought the Steelers could win. I thought an 8.5 spread was absolutely insane. There's no way it was an 8.5 spread. That's what could it be. But as the day went on, the way I was being treated was just everyone was surprised, "Oh, bro, you're a good fan. You really think the Steelers are gonna win?" I respect. People kept being like, respect for cheering for my team in the playoffs. And I'll say, I mean, Steelers Ravens, this is a divisional game. This is a legendary game. The Steelers have had Lamar's number. Yeah, he beat us bad the last time we played. And he said, yeah, and Lamar said after that game, yeah, I exercised my Steelers demons and all that, and just how the Steelers have lost the last 4 games. But at the same time, Mike Tomlin, Russell Wilson has been when he plays good, he plays good. That's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, been to 2 Super Bowls in a row. I thought in the playoffs he could maybe show something. George Pickens, yeah, he's been ass and his attitude is terrible, but I thought bro, you're in the playoffs. You have a quarterback that can throw to you. I thought maybe we can do it. Bro, Najee is ass. Najee's not buns. He's a million, 1,000 yard seasons, all that with Najee. Everybody knows how I feel about him. I thought we had a chance. I thought the Steelers could actually win, and I thought that it could be a game the way everything was working out. I would have rather played the Texans, and we ended up playing the Ravens. But with that all being said, I really thought the Steelers had a chance. I really thought the Steelers had a chance, and everybody around me was treating me like I was some amazing person, a diehard, you're a diehard. I felt like I was a fan of the Giants or the Browns or the Colts for the last 5 years. Wow, you think the Steelers are going to win a playoff game? You think the Steelers, of course, a divisional playoff game, even if it's the way I thought we were going to win. So I was feeling a little weirded out because I thought it would be more of a general consensus the Steelers have a chance. So I was weirded out hours before the game, days leading up to the game. Then for the Steelers game, I just had a jersey. I just had a Steelers jersey on with a the white, like, it's winter. I live in Indiana. I live in Indianapolis. It's winter. I just had a Steelers jersey on with a sweatshirt, with a yellow sweatshirt, like going through, like just the sweatshirt under, Steelers jersey over. Went to go play poker at a friend's house. None of my friends are Steelers fans, and they love making fun of me for being a Steelers fan. When I got there, same energy. Like, oh my, you really think the Steelers are gonna win, right? That's the energy, right? Then the game starts, and the Steelers like immediately are getting destroyed. Like, let me see. Yeah, I was gonna say first drive for the Ravens was a touchdown. So immediately it's bad. So immediately, and we're playing poker, right? So when me and my friends play poker, we're like talking, we're having conversation. And I will say last night, this more than usual nights, people were like talking a lot. The game was moving really slow. That was also quite annoying me as well. On top of my team losing, I'll say that. But the game is moving slow. We're having conversation, and I'm quiet. Because the first drive for the Steelers was 6 and out. It felt like a 3 and out, and I'm sitting like at the poker table, like with my face towards the TV table here. First drive felt like a 3 and out. It was a 6 and out. First drive for the Ravens, it's a touchdown, 13 plays, 95 yards. So from immediately, as soon as the game starts, I go pretty nonverbal. And like for the first, I'd say like quarter, I think everybody at the table. It wasn't a lot of people. It was like a less people night. I feel like it was like I think 5 people. Usually I feel like we could get, I guess, six, 6 going to 7, I'd say. But they're just talking, and I'm obviously just looking at the game, playing my hands, really not paying attention, kind of paying attention, folding a lot when I don't really have something I like, and I'm despondent already because it's not how I'm thinking it was gonna go from immediately, the first quarter and a half immediately. I mean, punt, 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 touchdown. 3 punts from us. They touchdown again, punt, touchdown, end of half. We punted it. It was I was actually stunned. I was stunned. Keep in mind, I thought there was a chance we could win. I was despondent. This was the worst Steelers play. We've lost the last 6 playoff games in a row. This was the worst playoff game to see us lose out of all 6 of them, and I mean that. And to be honest, there was only 2. I'll get to that later. But this was the last. This was the worst one. Beginning of the game, and despondent. Halfway through the first quarter, my friends are like looking at me. Like I start noticing they're looking at me like, why are you so sad? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you like, what's going on? I'm just like kind of ignoring them, like, and then they just start saying, "Like, Garrett, what did you expect? Like the Steelers are gonna lose." Like at first it was like quiet. I just was getting looks, and then they actively started to like berate me, like being like, Garrett, like what did you expect? What's going on? Like you're not even playing the hand. Like at this point, like I'm going all in. Like I'm just doing stuff because I want to leave and I don't want to. We're going playing $20 buy-ins, $51, 25-cent, 50-cent blinds in this game. So it's like I'm not trying to leave. Like I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to go all in, leave my money, and I'm winning the all-ins and stuff. Like they're like thinking like I'm like doing some weird strategy where I'm trying to go all in and play. I was truly despondent that a team that I thought could win their first playoff games and had an opportunity to, because we had multiple quarterbacks. We had a receiver that I thought and think, or we'll get to that, is a wide receiver one talent. We have a running back in Jalen Warren that is really good. We have a running back in Najee that's he can do something. He'll go for 2 really good runs and he'll get you some 3s and 2s. Like I don't know. And we have one of the best coaches in NFL history. I truly believed we had a chance to go and beat our division rivals. And my friends were like, they were like stunned, like looking at me like I was ruining the poker night. Because the thing about me, like I usually talk a lot. I'm active. I talk a lot. I just talk a lot. Like it's just me. So like if I'm in a place I'm not talking, I feel like especially my friends, they're gonna think something's wrong with me. And they were really like, why is something wrong with you? That the team you've loved for your entire life, that is in the playoffs with a chance, with an opportunity now, with a quarterback that's, I don't think Russell is ass. I think he's not good, but I think he's not ass. So with the quarterback with an opportunity to win, like why are you sad? Why are you like going all in at the poker night? Why are you not talking to us? Why are you not care? Like they're talking about stuff that I like that is really important, actually, like stuff that really does matter. because a lot of my friends right now, it's the beginning of a new year. It's a lot of excitement with my friends, and we were talking about that and talking about other stuff, laughing, and I just couldn't get in on the conversation. I couldn't. It was I couldn't get on the conversation because the game was so bad. We lost. It was just I was genuinely sad during the game in the first half. I left my friend's house after the first half. I kept going all in. I couldn't lose for some reason. It's like the poker gods are like trying to make fun of me and having me stay. At this point, when I'm like going in on those all or doing stuff on those last couple of hands, my friends are just actively talking. One of them is like, "Why don't you just give me your money? Why don't you just give me your money? Just give me your money that you have left." I'm like, "It doesn't work like that. I'm not giving you my money." And I could say something more, just like, "Bro, get out of my, stop talking to me, stop talking to me." I'm ignoring him. I'm ignoring him. I'm being, because, yeah, one friend doing that, and I'm ignoring him. I have one friend to my right, directly to my right, like, just like, bro, who cares about this? You want to turn it off? Like, who cares? Like, this is being disrespectful, and I'm not talking. I have other, like, like friend of a friend, like, to my, like, just talk, like we're just saying, and I'm just not, like, I'm just not, they're talking about stuff, like, they're going back in the past about funny jokes we did, and they're, like, wanting, like, that I was involved in, and I was the center of some of them, and they're, like, wanting my input, and I'm not talking, and they're, like, "Why is Garrett not talking?" And I'm just like, genuinely ignoring them watching the game. So much anger that it's like I knew if I said something, like, it would be mean. Like, my tone of voice would have been very, very mean for it. And they're like, it's like, they're like, "Oh, this is a football game." Like, I have my friend that never watches any football. That same friend, I'm like doing the things of where they were. Like, my friend that watches no football all year, he's a Lions fan. All of a sudden, I've known him since second grade. Didn't know that he was a Lions fan. Now he's a Lions fan. Talking about, never watches any football. Talking about how, why do you think the Steelers are going to win? But he probably hasn't watched a single full Steelers game all year. Doesn't even like football. Giving football advice, telling me I shouldn't think my team should win. So then, now he's a Lions fan. He wants the Lions to win. Never heard of him being a Lions fan my entire life. Then I got my weak ass Packers friend, like, bro, thinking like, bro, I don't even know. And then they're like, "Why aren't you talking?" I'm not saying a word. I'm just taking it all in. Pause, because I don't care about that. I can't talk. Actually, I did care. I was extremely angry. But if I had said something, just would have been mean, bro. I just would have been mean because I was genuinely distraught and mad and angry. Couldn't lose my hand. Bought it for 20, won like $23. Told my friend, keep that extra $3. Just give me my 20. You guys have a good night. As I'm walking out, one of my friends, Garrett, they just scored a touchdown. I think it was like in the end of the first half, where there was like a big 20-yard play. I went back and watched it. Ran up the steps, excited, thinking, maybe, what is it, going into halftime? It's gonna be 7-21, a 2-score ball game. Maybe we can make something happen, because it's a whole first half. Maybe we can make something. Like, I'm angry on the outside and I'm scared, but I'm in the back of my head saying, okay, I leave on this touchdown. I go in, I get me some food. I get back to the crib. I'm in a different energy. Maybe we could go. It was just like a big play. It's just a big play, and it like, what did it? I don't even know. What was it? The play. Pass deep, the Russell Wilson pass deep right to George Pickens for 49 yards. He was like, "Oh, touchdown!" I ran up. It was just a big play. I just walked out, didn't even say a word, because I was so angry that you called me up there for that, like, that lie, right? That, and I knew, because I knew how the game was going, and I could see that wasn't going to be a touchdown anyways. That big play was not going to amount to us doing anything, because I just knew in my bones in the game how the game was going to end, and that's why I left, because I couldn't stay at my friend's house for another half of that, just playing poker hands, acting like I care. I couldn't act like I care, and I maybe called me stupid for thinking my team was gonna win. Maybe I was, bro. Maybe I was. But that was just my experience watching that game, and my experience during that day of how I was being treated. Wow. Of how I was being treated. Everyone was so surprised that I thought that my team could win. Got treated like a moron, and it's one of the first times I felt like a moron for thinking it after watching that game. Oh man. Now, I guess we'd start with the Let's start with the box score. Okay, Russell Wilson, 20 for 29, 270 yards, 2 TDs. Justin Fields, 0 for 1. Russell Wilson's stat line, so much better than what it is. That sounds so much better than how he really played. I don't care about any Steelers numbers. TJ Watt did absolutely nothing. Had a 0. He's hurt. I would never disrespect TJ Watt. He's a dog. He's hurt, but it's just sad to see him get nothing. And I know if he's getting nothing, he's genuinely hurt. Najee, 6 carries for 17 yards. Jalen Warren, 2 carries for 6 yards. Russell Wilson, 3 carries for 6 yards. Russell Wilson had more carries than our running back one, in my opinion. Like a third, almost more than a third of our number one quarter running backs yards. 6 carries for 17 yards for Najee Harris. Lamar, 6 for 21, 175 yards, 2 TDs. Lamar had 15 carries for 81 yards. Derrick Henry had 26 carries for 86 yards with a 44-yard long touchdown. We already saw the Steelers punt at every play of the first half. The second half, we had some touchdowns. We had some big throws. We had some things that looked cool. Not once did I think the Steelers would win. Not once did I think what would need to happen would happen for the Steelers. And again, I'll say, all of the Sixers or the Steelers' 6 losses, like the last time the Steelers won a playoff game was in 2016, and the Steelers' last 6 playoff losses. I want to see, like, what's the last losses. Maybe this is it. We're going to go, if it even shows to us quickly, I'm just going to go on. 2024, lost to the Bills, lost to the Chiefs, lost to the Browns, lost to the Jaguars, and then a W on, January 15th on the Chiefs. That's the 2016 one, and that's 2017. Feels like 2016, but that's the playoffs. Let me go a little bit closer. Being honest with you, looking at these games, the only games, the only games that I thought the Steelers didn't have a chance to win were the Bills game and the Chiefs game. Those are the only 2 games where I thought we really didn't have a chance to win that playoff game, especially this one. And this one hurts more than all of these, maybe all of them combined, the way this one makes me feel. Now let's get to just a couple of things, bro. We're going to use a couple of tweets to help me get to some things I want to talk about with the Steelers right now. Let's see. It's just really depressing. It really is. Let's just get to a couple tweets. So, Mike Tomlin, after he gets his annual above 500 record. Before last night, if you had ever said, I think the Steelers should get rid of Mike Tomlin, I would have thought you're an idiot. Now I just want to say I'm glad I'm not the person that has to make that decision, because I honestly, truly do not know anymore. I saw another tweet, the Steelers are in the worst position you can be as an organization, which everyone knows, because we just get to the playoffs every year. We're not asked enough to get a good playoff pick or to get a good draft pick. And we're just good enough for at some point in the season to have genuine hope, if you want to have that. We're in the worst position an organization can be: a Cowboy position, a Colts position. Just a weird position. The Cowboys were worse last year, but if you watch football for the last couple of years, you know what I'm trying to say. And now it's just to the point where I just want to win as a Steelers fan. So if that means, and when I say I win, I mean I want to win games that matter, games late in the season, playoff games. And if and getting rid of Mike Tomlin is so much easier said than done. And what I mean by that is I truly don't believe you can name 5 coaches in the NFL that are going to be better. You can name 3, 4, maybe like just 5, but you can't, 5 is my number, and maybe I'll give you 6 or 7 in the realistic reality. He's a 6 or 7 coach for sure. You cannot name 5 coaches, I feel like, confidently, that are better than Mike Tomlin. So when you say get rid of Mike Tomlin, who are we going to get that's better than him? And it has to be a prodigy or a star, because there's not anyone that I know of that I would trust that's out on the open market that I would trust to get the Steelers, that are going to win the Steelers a playoff game. I still think Mike Tomlin is a great coach and he would get a job immediately, and he's one of those things where he'd probably be good. But this is the truth, though. We're just good enough to not be ass. And maybe at this point you want to be trash so you could get, yeah, I'm trying to stop. So maybe you want to be trash so you can get a good draft pick. Steelers record on December 3rd, 10-3. Steelers record since then, 0-5. Should Russ return as Steelers QB? Here's go Antonio Brown, the next coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 0-6 in their last 6 playoff games. Kirk Herbstreit deserves an Emmy for this Steelers take.
A game like this, a chess match, it's a cliche. I mean, but this is a chess match, 2 grandmasters.
If I were a Steelers fan, the thing that would concern me just watching this first half, you're in the postseason. You're getting dominated. I don't see any fight. I don't see any pushback. It's one thing to lose XOs against a really talented offense, but where the hell is the fight? This is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
There's nothing. They're just going through the motions.
Yeah, this is a game like this, a chess match, it's a cliche.
All right, that's exactly what I mean when I say I couldn't stay there for the entire game playing poker. I couldn't care about poker hands. If you're a Steelers fan, it was just terrible. I guess he's saying the fight. I guess it looked like that. You would think on a Mike Tomlin team that would be the last thing that you're ever questioning is the fight of a team in a playoff game. But it just looked so terrible. I knew there was no way we were gonna win. Watching that half of just how it was and just what was going on, and then on defense, our defense didn't look like the Steelers' defense. Injuries, people it just was weird. So when he says as a Steelers fan, the thing that must be the most disheartening is there was no fight. That's why it was this was a truly. I'm going from a fan of a team that you could say is delusional, that really believes that team can be good and do something good. There was a time in this season where I thought we could get to the Super Bowl, where I thought we were good enough to beat any team. It really was. There's a time in this season where that was the case. I always felt like the Steelers were a quarterback away and had so many great pieces with such a great coach that with just having Russell Wilson and Justin Fields combination, the way we started the season with Justin Fields, and then the way that it was going with Russell Wilson, with the way he could move the ball downfield. I keep saying this. I thought we had a chance. And even when we were losing the games at the end of the season, we're playing some of the best teams in the league. So it's scary that you're losing games to the best team in the league, but also I know that if we play our best, we can win games, and games against good teams. That's what I thought. I don't know that anymore, actually. I don't know that, but that's what I thought. So that's why I'm trying to get across to you how devastating it truly was. How devastating it truly was, and how this loss was different, and how to my friends, I wasn't talking to you guys, I wasn't interacting with you guys, I was genuinely frustrated and shitty, and was not talking, and you guys were just saying things to me and I wasn't answering. If it felt like I was ignoring you, I was ignoring you. And I also want to say to the people that were texting me and calling me and saying things to me in different group chats and all those different things, and just asking me stupid questions. If I sounded angry, if I didn't answer your call, I saw it. If I sounded angry, I was. If I wasn't answering your text and you're wondering if I saw, you probably already know though, this I did see it. I didn't care what you were talking about. I was extremely frustrated. Just in case anyone didn't know or was wondering what it was, that's what it was. Okay. And he deserves an Emmy for the Steelers take, I guess so, bro. Yeah, he deserves an Emmy for the take that's going to get, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's keep going. George, so let's look at this. This is Pickens afterwards, bro. Same thing with every Steelers. It's been going on with the Steelers my entire life. Crazy ass wide receiver. Yikes. Wide receiver George Pickens seems to want out from the Steelers. Does that make you optimistic going forward? No, let's look at this.
George, you've been with this offense now for 3 years. Have you seen signs of growth, and how much more does this team still need to grow offensively?
Yeah, I've seen signs of growth for sure. From past, the first year I've been here, just way more growth for sure.
George, does that make you optimistic going forward?
Nah.
Seeing growth doesn't make you optimistic for what we can do going forward. No. George Pickens, great talent, really good. Great talent. He's a wide receiver when he's really good. No team's gonna want him. Think we should get rid of him. It's just like, bro, like, how do you say, like, your attitude, but the effort, bro, like, I can't, I wonder, like, a team's gonna pick him up, but he's gonna be like all the Steelers, like a lot of Steelers wide receivers when they leave the Steelers, probably because when they leave the Steelers, they're really having problems, they're really tweaking out. When they leave the Steelers, they're buns, and they usually, your best bet, I would say, is to go to a Super Bowl team, a team that's gonna win a Super Bowl, not get paid a lot, and get a ring. Like, that's what all of them do, which is like, okay. Like, all right, bro, that's his best bet, I guess. Like, go to the Chiefs, go to the Lions for probably not the bet. Like, you're gonna be like a third option, fourth option, second option, maybe when the first option's hurt, you'll be the second option. And try to go win a Super Bowl. You're not gonna ever get paid. Wide receiver one money. If you leave the Steelers, and the Steelers maybe probably will trade you or they'll keep you because you are our best wide receiver and our best talent. And so, I mean, that's why the Steelers are in a terrible position. It's like things like this, all the little things that make you really sad about the Steelers. But, yeah, you say that. Like, he's acting like he's a 5-year receiver, like a 5-year. You haven't, like, that's won a playoff game. Or usually our wide receivers do a little bit more before they get to this point and do this. But just keep moving on. TJ Watt, already talked about this. 0 tackles, 0 sacks, 2 missed tackles, 60 defensive snaps. It was a rough night for Watt diehards. He's obviously injured, I'll say that. Derrick Henry, 44-yard touchdown.
They get their two big stars back. Meanwhile,
Like, it's just like, bro. No one, like, bro, does no one touch him? Look at that. Look at that. No one touches him. So, except for this guy who just gets, I mean, it's nothing. You might as well have not even touched him.
he obviously cleared the protocol. They get their two big stars back. Meanwhile, there goes Henry. There goes Henry all the way for the touchdown. 44 yards.
44-yard touchdown. Yeah. 44-yard touchdown. That's all I want to show. I'm not going to get to, like, Mike Tomlin, if I think he should be fired or not, or what's going to go on. Like, those are conversations, like, I can bring up in the offseason. We can talk about. I'm not going to do that now. Worst Steelers loss I've ever seen. We talked about this for 28 minutes. All right, let's get to the other game.